we're going to talk about searching for periodicals. Now, periodicals are things like magazines, newspapers, scholarly journals, things that are published at a periodic rate. So maybe that's every week, every month, every day, whatever, but it's on a regular schedule, so it's a periodical. There are several ways to find periodicals. We talked about the library catalog already, and you can look in the library's catalog to see which periodicals we keep on our shelf here. But that will tell you, do we subscribe to Newsweek? And if so, which years do we have? The last 5 years, the last year, what do we have? But what are in all those issues? What is contained in all of those? What are those articles all about? That's not the job of a catalog. That's where we go to an index. Now that might be an idea that people are familiar with from a book. If you're looking at a book, a print book, in the back there's an index where you can look up maybe a word or a concept and it'll tell you what pages that's mentioned on. And so it's the same kind of idea. You're going to look up one specific thing and find out where that occurs. So a periodical index, these have been around for a very long time, way before computers, but it used to be that they would print them up and mail them to us. And there's companies that this is what they do. This is their business. They take information about periodicals and they compile them together in one spot. For example, all those Newsweek articles, they index them, tell you what they're all about, and they would make a print handout about that, a little booklet, and we would get those in the mail on a regular basis and we would be able to look at them. Then if someone came in and they wanted an article about wolves, they could go to Wolves and it would tell you what magazines had recently printed articles about that. And then you would have to go to the shelf and find it. As time went on, rather than printing those up in paper and giving them to us, they would put them on a CD-ROM and they would mail them to us, and then we could stick it in the computer, and it was the same idea. You could say, I want articles on wolves, and it would tell you which articles recently were published about wolves. Now we're taking that a step further, which is they don't even send us the CDs anymore. We're accessing it from our computer using the World Wide Web over the internet to the company's computers. So this is information that they're compiling together and we're accessing it. So this is information that we're paying for. We're using the internet to connect our computers to their computers, but this is not free stuff. Just like they don't send us Newsweek for free to put on the shelf. We have to pay them to do that. We have to pay these companies to put all that information together. And they have what they call added value. They make it searchable. They make it usable for us. The addition of computerized searching and storage space and all of these things that are more available, they've added another component. Not only will it tell you, go to the June 17th issue of Newsweek to find your article about wolves, then a lot of times they'll actually provide you with the article right there on the computer, the full text of the article. So that's what we're looking for. You get to do your search, and it tells you which issue of the magazine that article was in, and in addition to that, they're going to actually provide you with the article. That varies a little bit. Not everything is full text through an electronic subscription, but a lot of it is. You see it's evolved over time, back from when they mailed us little books in the mail. What they do now gives us a lot more flexibility, obviously, and students can use these things from home. They don't have to be on campus. There's all kinds of additional features, of course. We are going to search in magazine and journal databases. All of this information that they compile together is called a database. They take all these information about the articles in many different magazines, tens of thousands of them, and they put them into a database. And so we pay for access to search that database. We've already looked at using the Primo search to find articles, so we're going to look at the databases individually now. To view the whole list of databases we subscribe to, go to the Search and Find tab. There's a lot of choices here. All sources. So this is going to be everything listed in one big list. The library's catalog, we already talked about. Databases organized by subject. Now, if you go to that one, I've actually kind of taken that same list. It's the same list of all sources, but it's just kind of categorized. Like, these are ones that are good for business, these are ones that are good for nursing. So I've put those by subject. We're going to look at all sources, and we're just going to look at the whole list of everything that the library subscribes to and take a look at what your choices are and see what's available. So you can see we have our whole list. So this is an alphabetical list. It's just alphabetical by the name of the database. and it has a brief description of each of the different databases so you can get an idea of what that one's about, because sometimes the names aren't very obvious. Sometimes they will describe it. Like this first one, ABI Inform, Trade and Industry, and then the description tells you a little bit about it. It's trade magazines, construction, marketing, manufacturing, finance, all kinds of different industry things like that. So we have a whole variety. We have some general purpose ones, like this second one, Academic Search Complete. This is a good one for pretty much anything we teach on our campus. It's really useful for most classes. But then we also have some specialty things, like there's America's Newspapers. That's just newspapers. You're not going to find scholarly articles there. You're going to just find newspapers. So current events, news from around the country.
Artemis Literary Sources. Artemis encompasses a number of different types of resources for literature research. Poetry criticism, short story criticism, our contemporary authors and contemporary literary criticism series, our Lit Finder, which includes essays, plays, poems, and speeches, Scribner Writers series, Twain's Authors series. Included in Artemis are primary sources, critical articles, literature and cultural analysis, and biographies. Artemis is basically one-stop shopping for literature research.
Art Store, this is an art database. This is digital images. So if you're looking for a piece of art, an image of a piece of art, that's a great place to go. Auto Repair Reference Center, automotive information. You can search for your vehicle and find out repair information. Big Chalk's eLibrary. This is another general purpose one. It's not as broad ranging as Academic Search Premier, but it's another good starting point. Credo Reference. This is a reference database. These are reference books online. Now we've talked previously about what are reference books. What kind of thing does that include? This is our online reference resource. It's electronic versions of print reference books, all compiled into over 500 of them compiled into one database. So this is great for the same things that reference books are good for, starting out with encyclopedias, beginning your research, getting an overview of your topic. This is a really good place for that. Criminal justice periodicals. Pretty self-explanatory there, criminal justice. So if you're doing anything with corrections administration, police work, etc., crime reports, this is a great database for that. Half of the battle of finding the right information is using the right tool. You certainly wouldn't want to look in criminal justice periodicals for something about art. You wouldn't want to look in America's Newspapers. You're looking for automotive information, etc. Those are pretty wide-ranging, but you want to pick the right tool for the job, so it's important to know what your options are. People tend to go back to the same database that they're used to using, and that's great. You get your comfort level, you'll learn how to use something, but you really need to remember sometimes that there might be something that's more appropriate as you change topics over the years. If you're not always researching the same topic, so you may need to look for something else. So this is great to know. We have criminal justice periodicals. Culturegrams. This is up-to-date cultural information about over 200 countries and state, and then in the U.S. as well. So this is information about different countries. eBooks from eBrary. This is our ebook collection. We talked about ebooks when we were looking at the library's catalog. You can also access them from this search for information page. ERIC is an education database. So if you're looking for anything about education, charter schools, classroom behavior techniques, etc., anything related to being a teacher or education, this is a really great place to go.
Films on Demand. This is our online streaming videos. So these are videos that you can watch online. So we don't actually necessarily own the physical discs of these. These are all things that you can watch online. There's, I believe, over 10,000 streaming videos here, and they cover a wide range of stuff: business, economics, health, sciences, humanities, social sciences, just a whole wide range. This is a really great resource for accessing a lot of different videos.
Gale Virtual Reference Library. This is another reference book database. It's not as large as Credo Reference, but it does have some reference books in there as well that you can start from. Really good for that. Granger's World of Poetry. This is a poetry database. Pretty straightforward. It's really handy if you are researching poetry. They have audio, so they have people reading the poems and stuff like that. It's really quite nice. The library catalog. This is our library catalog. Find in our books we already looked at.
National Newspaper Score.
Not the same as America's newspapers. There is some overlap, but it's not as big, but it does have some different stuff that they don't include. Nursing and Allied Health Source. This is a nursing database. Send our nurses here who find information about issues concerning nursing.
Opposing Viewpoints in Context. This is the Opposing Viewpoints database. It's based on the series of books, if you've ever used those. They're really great for social issues and hot topics and controversial things, just like this title sounds like, Opposing Viewpoints on different topics. So this is really great. They have pro and con on different topics. They have viewpoint essays, topic overviews, primary sources, biographies. They have a whole range of stuff that it's really a great place, and it's also a great place to browse for topics. Oxford Music Online. This is a really great music database, and it's based on the Grove's Music Encyclopedia, and it also includes the Oxford Companion to Music and the Oxford Dictionary of Music. So it's got over like 50,000 articles and 30,000 biographies and just a whole ton of stuff that's music related that's great for music research. So this is a really excellent database if you're looking for any music sources.
ProQuest Research Library. This is our other general purpose database. The two things I always suggest to people: did you look in ProQuest Research Library? Did you look in Academic Search Premier? Those are the two starting points that I always leap off with. It's good for pretty much everything we teach on campus. PubMed. This is a medical database from the National Library of Medicine. Science Direct. Health, Life, Social, and Behavioral Sciences. So health sciences, again, nursing, really great there. Life sciences, biology, natural resources, fisheries, all of that. Social and behavioral, psychology, sociology, human services, social work, anything along those lines. So this is a really great database. This is all scholarly information in Science Direct. So that's good to remember if you're looking for stuff that's peer-reviewed, you're looking for scholarly information in any of those areas, Science Direct is a great place. SIRS Knowledge Source. SIRS is a social issues database. So this is a place to go for anything that's considered a social issue. SIRS social issues, so that would be homelessness, poverty, the environment. Education is considered a social issue in many ways. Internet security, identity theft, anything that's a social concern. SIRS is great for that. It's also really a great place to go and browse for topic ideas if you're not sure where to go. And they have a lot of helpful how to organize your research, kind of little helpful download documents and things that you can use to help organize yourself. SIRS has a lot of good help in there. Testing and Education Reference Center. This is practice tests. Kind of something you either could use or you don't ever need to know about. So practice tests like the GED or the NCLEX or the ASVAB or any of those practice tests.
Washington State Newsstand. This is about 20 newspapers from around the state of Washington, and this is an excellent source if you're looking for just local Washington State events or issues. It'll give you papers from our state only, so this is really handy for that.
And then Voice, which is career information. If you haven't taken a look at that and you're undecided on what you want to do with your life, it's a great place to go in, find out about different careers. Also take some assessments. It'll tell you what you might be good at. You can find out what schools teach that, all kinds of different information. That's Voice. So this is the list of databases. This is an alphabetical list, but we also have it arranged by subject. So if you click on this search by subject, we've broken them down into sort of some broad areas. And what I've done here is I looked at the different databases we have, and I sort of picked out, well, if a student who was a nursing student came to me and said, I'm a nursing student, where should I start searching? I put those all into one nursing category. So there's a lot of overlap in these because things like Academic Search Premier, everybody should look in. So they're all over the place, but this is kind of like my recommendations, what you should start with. If you're in a speech class, here's the databases that I suggest you start with. Human Services, here are the databases I suggest you start with. There's always the possibility that you need to branch out a little bit, but this is a good way to sort of do it by subject if you're trying to narrow it down. Back to this is the whole alphabetical list again. So if this is too overwhelming and you know you're looking in a certain subject area, you can go ahead and do that. Academic search, let's take a look at how that appears. You get your search again, you've got your basic search box up here.
Using the basic search in pretty much any database will search for your words in the default search fields that are chosen by the database. Often this is the citation field, like title, author, subject, and the abstract, which is your summary of the article. So that's pretty common. Sometimes the default search will also include the full text of the articles. Not always, so it's going to vary a little bit from database to database. When you use the advanced search, you'll be given the control to decide which fields your words are going to appear in. So you can specify your word, you want that to be in the title and maybe a different word in the abstract, etc. So using the advanced gives you more control over that.
You can do your searching. They're looking for Boolean operators there. There's a feature here where you can apply related words. I would use that with caution. They're going to go into whatever you type in, they're going to go into a thesaurus and look for things with similar meanings. That can really lead you down some stray paths really quickly, so I'd be very cautious if you're going to use that. Here you see again, limit to full text, limit to scholarly. Do you know the exact publication you're looking for, the name of the magazine or journal? Some different things, but a lot of similar features here. But you can see we're in basic search. Advanced search, they have an advanced search box as well. And it's got all of your fields, your and or not. It looks very similar. So we've got a lot of different things. A lot of the same features over again, but just kind of looking a little bit different. We're going to say water pollution in the subject, or oil spill. If you don't select anything here, it'll just default to citation and abstract, but we'll say oil spill in the text. So this is all text instead of document text. And then we'll say not Exxon. Doing a search here. I haven't limited it by full text or scholarly yet. But this is how results look in Academic Search Premier. Not exactly the same as ProQuest, but you're still getting the same type of information. You've got your title, author, name of the journal, date, volume, issue, page number, how many pages is it. A lot of the same information is out there. In this case, on the left-hand side, you can refine your results. Oh, now I just want to look for scholarly. You got a little drag bar. You can change the date range right there. Update your results. Now I changed the date range a little bit there. So you have a lot of things that you can do here. It's really great to poke around and see with the different databases, subjects, publication, company names, all of these different options. Let's look for one that is not full text. You can see you've got a lot of PDF full text here. HTML full text. So you either have to open the PDF document or not. Oh wow, there's lots of full text here. I was going to look for an example. Okay, here we go, number 22. Check for full text in other GHC databases. So again, this is one, they've got the citation, they've got the abstract, they don't have the full text. So if we want this Journal of Environmental Management, we need to find it somewhere else. So the link says check in other GHC databases. So we're going to open that up and take a look. Aha, this one does say that is available in Science Direct. So that article, I'm going to just switch to that window again. That article, if we really wanted that identification of environmentally vulnerable areas, it's told us, hey, that's over in Science Direct. So if we click on that, it's going to open Science Direct up for us. And here we are, Journal of Environmental Management. So all we'll need to do is look at that, which then now we need to know which issue. Oh, July 2011, volume 92, pages, etc. So we'll just take that information over to here, over to Science Direct. We're looking at 2011. Open that up. Ooh. And it was July, so there's the July issue, and then we look for our article. And here's the full text in PDF of the articles. That's just kind of how you'd maneuver through that. But if you do find it in another database, it will give you that reference and it'll send you over to that other database so you can get your article. It'll link you out to it. That's a pretty helpful way to go. Again, you've got your advanced search, search by publication. That's the name of the journal or magazine. You can search by subject, etc. There's lots of different features in a lot of these different databases. Both the SIRS database and the Opposing Viewpoints in Context are excellent places to browse and brainstorm for topics. So if you're looking for a topic idea, those are really great ways to go about finding them. Opposing Viewpoints, you select the database and then click the Browse Issues to see the list of potential topics. At this point, you're viewing the entire list of issues, but you can also choose a category from the drop-down menu. So if you want to focus down on kind of one area, you can do that as well. For all these issues, it will give you an overview of the topic, a collection of sources, which includes video and audio, images, and viewpoints articles, which is a big thing that Opposing Viewpoints in Context is famous for, is their viewpoint articles. So it'll give you articles for all these different potential topics. It's really great. I often recommend SIRS if someone is browsing for a topic, because on the right-hand side here, it says your top 10 pro versus con leading issues. So this has got some top issues that people are looking for, people are interested in. And again, SIRS is a social issues database. You can see the type of things that they're looking at here: world conflict, same-sex marriage, illegal aliens, obesity, etc. If you don't like any of the top 10 issues, though, you can always go here to more issues, and it'll take you out to their entire list of issues. It's, I believe, over 300 issues. So this is a really great place to browse for ideas. SIRS is really helpful on that. And on all of these different issues, on every single one, click one, they've given you a lot of information. They've already started kind of compiling it for you. On the left is an overview of the topic. In the middle is sort of a pro and con question with a yes/no answer and links to supporting documents for each side. On the right, they always have some sort of an interactive. And then they've done a search for you. They've also suggested some different keyword searches, or some different ways to explain the same topic. This is really great. They give you some synonyms, some other ways to explain it. And then they've done a search and they've got articles linked here for you. SIRS is a really helpful way to find topics. They do a lot of work, especially if you're doing anything persuasive, or if you're doing anything where you're supposed to pick an issue or pick a side. The SIRS is a great place to go. Up here on the top in their toolbox, they have a number of different things that are helpful for you as well. They have a research guide, they have a debate outline, how to cite sources, so that's really great. They have some downloadable forms here on the issues page as well. Under research tools, they have a note organizer, which is an online fillable form that you can organize your research and your citations and everything. So SIRS has a lot of great helpful stuff there. If you're looking at current events, America's newspapers, we mentioned it's a newspaper database, so we can look at that. Special features, again, that you get if you go into the individual databases. Okay. So if you go into America's newspapers, you've got current events, hot topics, news headlines, and then some special reports. They've got a whole list of special reports here on the left. Access World News. And then some shortcuts to some, like the Daily World, the Olympian, Seattle PI, some local stuff. But if you just wanted to look in the news, Access World News, and then you have right here, right on the front, you have a search form. Where do you want your words to appear? All text, the lead or first paragraph. That's always good in a newspaper. It's at the top of the article. Headline, author, byline, section, etc. So there's a lot of features there. Date feature, that's really helpful. Newspapers come out frequently, like every day, and so this is really being updated every day, and so there's a lot of articles in here. But this is a great feature here, this map. You can pick which state's newspapers you want to look at, and it tells you, this alphabetical list here, but you can pick, and it tells you how many sources they have from each of those. Or if you scroll down a little bit, you can kind of pick it by region. You can see the different colors on the map, and they've got it narrowed by region. So if we just wanted stuff from, say, the West Coast, we'd go down here to Pacific and say select, and it would automatically check all the things that were in that Pacific area. And so we could just look for those newspapers. Or you can unselect those and just select, I just want Arizona and Idaho. I want newspapers from 2 places. That's really helpful if you're looking for a local perspective on an issue or something that happened in a specific place and you just want to get the newspapers from there. That's really great. So lots of different features that you can do in a lot of the different databases.
Many of the databases give you the option to sort your results. The most common default sort is relevance. This puts the articles that match closest to your search words at the top of the list, but you can also sort by date, putting the newest articles on the top. It's the same list of results, it's just rearranged in a different order. So anytime you change the sort order, it's the same, you're not getting new results, it's the same results, you're just going to rearrange them. You'll typically see this option on your results page. After you have a list of results, you'll be able to change the sort. That's usual. Printing, emailing, saving articles, all of these are options in all of our databases. You can save things either to a drive like your hard drive or a thumb drive, or sometimes they'll have an option for like an e-shelf or an e-book shelf or a folder on the database that you can save stuff to. That's a really great, you'll have to look around for that feature, but you should be able to find something like that as well.
That's all we're going to look at for now, but there's advanced searches, there's limiters, you can narrow it down to full text, you can narrow it down to peer-reviewed, you can limit by date range. There's all kinds of features that you can use in a lot of the different databases. Part of the key is keeping your eye out for those things, kind of having some idea or some sense of what should be available, and then you know what to look for. It's not always called the same thing, but having some idea of what they should be offering you is half the battle. That's looking at magazines and journals.